That's one label right here. The label underneath it is a separate label. If there is a leader line mistake, I just hope that maybe it's just one more opportunity to find some information. That is an excellent observation, because the hole under the hatch makes a lot more sense from discovering an ancient map with a marked spot indicating the location of the treasure to discovering a mysterious ice ancient cross with strange markings. Here's how Rick found a secret trap. Oh, could this be the missing clue to uncovering the Oak Island treasure? Clues from an ancient. The two brothers Rick and Marty Lagina, together with their crew, set out to uncover the old and hidden treasure of Oak Island. They faced many tough situations while hunting for the island's well-known treasure. However, when they uncovered something totally unexpected, it completely changed their perspective and the overall trajectory of their hunt. What they regarded as their true adventure kicked off with the discovery of an ancient map. This map was a game-changer because it showed the way to a buried entrance. Following this discovery, the entire team was excited and thrilled, wondering what they might find buried underneath. In their minds, this hidden entrance would either lead them to the fabled treasures of Oak Island or would just be another pathway to more complex challenges. In any case, they had to try it out in an effort to strategize based on the new findings. Sitting in a dimly lit room around a big table, Rick, Marty and their team discussed the local history with Doug Cra. They were also joined by Zena Halpern, a noted expert on the Knights Templar. The treasures the Templars had supposedly came from the Mid-East. It's not a giant stretch to think one of their band might have come from the Mid-East too. So you know, the Mid-East opens up all kinds of things that all may be far-fetched. We need to do further testing, but right now in this moment it's an amazing find. Zena's knowledge and energy was contagious as she brought to light a significant find that could possibly answer many of the old questions about Oak Island. Zena introduced them to two old maps along with a strange code. The team was shocked upon seeing the date on the first map. It was 1179, marked in Roman numerals. The map clearly indicated Oak Island and had a point marked Roden right on top of it. According to Zena, this hinted at New Ross, a place linked to a well-known explorer, Henry Sinclair, who traveled to Nova Scotia in 1398. Seeing this, the room was filled with a sense of wonder and their curiosity increased. We have a number of items that we believe from a layman's perspective can be associated with a ship or the building of ships. Even with Zena's new information, the team felt a renewed sense of purpose and pushed forward in their quest for answers as they tried to understand the implications of these old cartographic signs. It was evident that there were still many unanswered questions about Oak Island. It's classic Oak Island, isn't it? It's just classic Oak Island. You know, throws up something you see and have even envisioned. You have somebody of European descent, somebody of Middle Eastern descent here on this island way deep in the money pit below. Search a depth, so it just corroborates and verifies and scores that age 8 is the place to dig, and getting to the bottom of it, that's what's next. With renewed energy, the team began a thorough exploration, leaving no stone unturned. Every discovery brought them closer to understanding the mysterious island's past, yet also deeper into the realm of the unknown history of the place. Although they had dealt with unexpected roadblocks, their determination to win only strengthened. On top of that, the bond between Rick, Marty and the rest of the team grew stronger, united by their shared passion for uncovering the long-lost stories hidden by this island. According to the crew and their findings, this strange island was believed to have connections to the Knights Templar, an influential medieval group. According to some stories, the crew had knowledge of a Templar stronghold was established there in the 1300s by a Scottish knight, Prince Henry Sinclair. However, their recent findings suggested an even more fascinating story. Zena uncovered clues indicating that the Templars might have been on Oak Island long before Sinclair's visit, which suggested that the nearby town of New Ross had a much deeper history linked to the Templars than previously thought. By now, to the crew's Zena's maps in this unfolding story were of great importance. One map showed all of Nova Scotia, while the other, a French map from 1347, was particularly interesting. This old map with French inscriptions suggested that the French might have been on the island back then. It referred to features like a basin, possibly a swamp, and a dam, maybe something discovered by another researcher. Interestingly, the map also had phrases like Oak Ento here that seemed to point to a well-known treasure location on the island. Additionally, the map also contained confusing words like anchors and valve that added to The mystery. Seeing this, the team's hunger for more clues grew as they continued their search for clarity. Each new clue helped them piece together more of the island's history, reinforcing their belief that its true story was buried waiting to be discovered by a curious person, or it had already been discovered. This strengthened their conviction that Oak Island's history might be different from what was commonly known to many. Maybe the Knights Templar were there before Henry Sinclair, and if they were, did they leave behind any hints, treasures, or even a hidden fortress? Excited by Zena's new discoveries and the clues on the maps, more discoveries lay ahead, and they felt they were close to finally uncovering the truth. Just as they started to understand their discoveries, an old map showed them something that could take their search even further and save them time searching for a lost entrance. According to the island's legends, a hidden door was yet to be found, which raised more questions about other wonders that might be buried there. To find these answers, Rick and the crew carefully compared the old maps to current geographical data, looking for matches and any anomalies. They believed these strange markers on the map were essential to solving the long-standing riddles of the island, but Rick knew that despite the excitement, new challenges would arise and they had to be prepared for them. Although they were uncertain about the accuracy of Zena's findings, they were eager to explore all possibilities. This is because Oak Island's history was filled with various tales, theories, so they had to consider all information. I want to know what the act is. Is it a back entrance to the money pit, or is it a possible vault full of treasure? But one thing for sure, if we can find the act location, it would validate Zena's research and the French map. Noticing that Zena's research seemed thoroughly conducted, Rick was keen not to overlook any of it, since each step they took brought them closer to potentially historic discoveries. For this reason, Rick, Marty and other members of their crew went to examine an unusual depression near Dave's house, thinking it might be significant in their expedition. Jack, another team member, took the initiative to compare the old map Zena had brought with recent satellite images to see if the map was accurate or it was just another dead end. But what they discovered left them shaken to the core. To their amazement, the outline of the map aligned perfectly with the island's current shoreline. More remarkably, it roughly showed the location of Dave's driveway, road and house, indicating that the map might reflect the island's current layout. Before they got ahead of themselves with all the joy chemicals pumping in their body, Jack cautioned that they still didn't know exactly what the hidden object they were looking for looked like. This meant they needed more clues to locate it. However, a hopeful sign appeared. Both the old map and the satellite image marked a peculiar spot, a potential site for the rumored hidden entrance. Seeing the comparison, the team was joyful at the possibility that the map was authentic and that the marked hole could indeed be the elusive entrance they had been trying to find all along. Eager to learn more about the potential hidden wonders below, Rick and Marty debated the meanings of their find, trying to understand whether pirates or ancient civilizations might have hidden something significant there. But they were not the only ones obsessed with the newly found clues. When David Blankenship noticed that the old map lined up perfectly with the current satellite image of the area, he asked Jack Bigley to bring along a metal detector. Starting off their investigation with fresh enthusiasm, they followed the directions on the map, hopeful that it would lead them to a hidden entrance that another ancient document had hinted at. As they followed the data of the metal detector, the team couldn't stop talking about what they might discover underneath. Perhaps it was a passage to the famed money pit, or even treasures hidden away for hundreds of years. Marty was amazed, believing this to be one of the most fascinating finds they'd encountered in this part of the island. As they approached the target spot, the excitement of what they could find overtook them. When they finally reached the designated area, Jack carefully maneuvered the metal detector across the site, while the rest of the crew watched with hushed silence, their hearts racing with the hope that they were about to make a significant discovery. Then something unexpected happened. Jack's detector suddenly signaled strongly at a particular spot, making him pause and look up with a look of excitement clear on his face. Was this the moment they would uncover the long-sought entrance that had eluded so many before them? The team quickly gathered around, their excitement paying as Jack resumed his careful examination, all eager to see what lay beneath the storied surface of Oak Island. As they dug around to uncover the entrance, feelings of astonishment and curiosity overwhelmed them. They all wondered what they would find behind this high forgotten entryway while questions of what forgotten tales were waiting to be revealed crossed each of the crew's minds. Only time would provide the answers they sought. What they found with the break of a new day, Rick, Marty and their team along with archaeologist Lardner decided to investigate the newly unearthed square opening on the island's western side. This discovery held the potential to be key in unraveling the island's long-standing tales. With their energy renewed, the team found a new opening that might reveal another part of the island's hidden past. Investigating a hidden opening, the main question they needed to address was whether this opening was man-made or a relic from the distant past. Oh, what a sweet little place this is. Would be nice to find another stone with an inscription on it, wouldn't it? Music. I wonder if that's got markings on it confirming its origin. Would be a crucial milestone for the Lagina brothers in their relentless quest to decode the island's history. As Lar inspected the site, he found signs that suggested human activity. Some stones seemed to have been moved intentionally while others were loosely arranged, pointing to deliberate construction. Seeing this, Marty proposed that this opening might have been an entrance to a tunnel, noting indications that Sue suggested one side could extend into a corridor, but more thorough exploration was needed, which would require permissions and the clearing of some vegetation. Following this, Marty reassured the team that they would follow all the necessary rules and asked about any restrictions on using basic tools like hand shovels for their digs. Despite the potential delays in securing permissions, Rick and Marty decided to proceed transparently, sharing their findings with the authorities. They recognized the importance of adhering to legal and archaeological guidelines to conduct a comprehensive and responsible exploration of the site. Committed to ethical treasure hunting, Rick and Marty chose to involve the Canadian government in their exploration efforts. This sign highlighted their commitment to respecting the environmental and historical significance of Oak Island. To many, the island wasn't just a potential treasure trove, it was considered a national and even a sacred archaeological site. Knowing this, Rick and Marty were keenly aware of the island's significance and were determined to preserve its integrity while methodically uncovering its hidden narratives. They understood the necessity of following proper procedures and collaborating with government authorities to ensure the island's preservation. This approach contrasted sharply with the heavy-handed methods employed by previous explorers. On top of this, the Lagina brothers utilized modern technology and archaeological practices to carefully dig and examine the island, aiming to unlock its stories while preserving its historical and environmental significance. Through their careful approach, Rick and Marty hoped to shed light on the strange island, respecting its rich history and natural beauty. Their commitment to maintaining the island's integrity showed their genuine passion for discovery and a responsible approach to uncovering the truth. Findings in Dan's home. On a sunny morning on Oak Island, Rick and Marty convened their team at the shore for a trip to visit Dan, an expert on the island's hidden riches. Dan had devoted nearly 50 years of his life to collecting clues about the treasure, amassing a collection of maps, photographs and stories from treasure hunters dating back to the early 17th centuries. His extensive collection was like a treasure map in itself, offering keys to unlocking the treasure's location. With all his collection, Dan's home resembled a mini museum filled with artifacts from past treasure hunts. His basement was particularly impressive, stocked with maps, photos and notes that transported visitors back to the days of early treasure seekers. More than the artifacts, Dan himself had a wealth of knowledge. He shared numerous stories about the treasure hunts, tales that have been passed down through generations with Al. His knowledge, Dan's enthusiasm for Oak Island's history was infectious, and his narrative increased the team's eagerness to learn more and dig deeper. For this, Dan served as a crucial link between the island's strange past and the ongoing quest for its treasures. With his guidance, the team felt better equipped to tackle the island's challenges and possibly unearth its long-hidden treasures. According to Dan, in the early 1930s, a determined treasure hunter named Melcher Pell almost accurately sketched the money pit area on the island. Convinced he had pinpointed the original pit's location, he and his father William began constructing a hidden tunnel aimed directly at the reputed treasure vault. Their ambitious project was unfortunately halted when seawater from one of the island's legendary flood tunnels flooded their excavation site, killing their hopes. It was decades later that Marty and Rick discovered evidence of Chappell's unsuccessful attempt while drilling. This finding made The crew come together and strategize their next steps on how to approach the excavation process. During the discussion, Marty expressed concerns about the placement of their third drilling site. Opinions varied, with Craig advocating for a northeastern site while Rick and David preferred a southwestern direction. This disagreement sparked a debate, causing the team to carefully reassess their strategy as their search became more intense. The clues they found led to a choice that could change their search completely. Evaluating a historic site, the crew was eagerly waiting for an essential machine to arrive, which made their decision-making even more pressing. To find the best way forward, they chose to gather additional data and continue their discussions. This is because the success of their search for the hidden wealth depended heavily on how carefully they evaluated their choices and made their decisions. Any inaccurate decision would cost them time, energy, and not to mention money. Mystery of Nolan's Cross. While digging at the money pit was paused, CK teamed up with Charles Barkhouse, the island's historian, and fellow treasure hunter Jack Bigley. They brought in stonemason Mike Quelling and Mark Fear to take a closer look at one of the island's notable landmarks, Nolan's Cross. Kind of hard, you have to look at it looking down, but it's the impression that you can see that this would be where the eye would be and the nose and the mouth. Their goal was to see if the huge stones that make up the cross were shaped by human hands, especially focusing on the center stone where the arms and the base of the cross meet. This spot was particularly significant because of the discoveries made by Fred Nolan, the property owner and treasure hunter. Back in 1981, Fred had discovered 5 large cone-shaped stones arranged in a perfect cross on his land, measuring almost 720 by 867 feet. Fascinated by this unusual layout, he thought there might be something valuable hidden at its center. His curiosity drove him to keep searching, and he eventually uncovered another stone that looked like a giant human head. As the team investigated Nolan's Cross, they hoped to find not only signs of human alteration but perhaps also buried treasures or significant historical items within its confines. Many people speculated that the stones were arranged to form a Templar cross, but another theory suggested a deeper symbolic meaning, proposing that the stones represented the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life was a symbolic image in ancient Hebrew mysticism that represented finer aspects involved in the creation of the universe. This alternative theory gained more attention as smaller stones with flat edges were found arranged around the cross, each aligning with the Tree of Life's depiction. These stones, rounded on one side and flat on the other, bore patterns that resembled human facial features like eyes and lips. As the team dug deeper into the history of Nolan's Cross, they were close to uncovering the hidden stories within this complex structure. To the crew, the possibility that humans had shaped these stones, the chance of finding hidden riches, and the representation of ancient wisdom all added to the excitement surrounding their exploration. Moreover, the team came across traces of a small sword. This discovery added another layer of mystery to the island's history. Some believe that the arrangement of Nolan's Cross resembling a sacred symbol might indicate that something valuable was concealed there. Agreeing with this theory, other experts who examined the rocks noticed detail that could support both the idea of it being a simple geometric arrangement and a symbolic structure. Gaining access to this new information, Rick and his crew recognized that Nolan's Cross could be a key piece in piecing together the story of the island. As they awaited further finds, they were energized by this new clue, believing that Nolan's Cross might be more than just an arrangement of stones. Over time, the weather had altered the appearance of Nolan's Cross. One stone in particular seemed different, suggesting it might have a special role. Rough sea carving. He outlined the prominence of the nose and the nasal features in the mouth, and in the eye socket. Rick considered the orientation of this stone as a potential clue, but they needed experts to confirm this. Rick understood that Nolan's Cross might not yield any treasure or definitive answers. Despite its many fascinating aspects, he saw it as crucial to explore the island's hidden stories, and on top of that, he considered experts as invaluable in this pursuit. With Rick's guidance, the team remained committed to investigating all aspects of the island, hopeful that Nolan's Cross would provide some answers, yet prepared if it did not. The next day, Rick's team explored the base of Nolan's Cross, focusing on a massive 5-ton granite comb. This exploration aimed to understand the stone's original placement and purpose, offering a fresh perspective on this remarkable structure. All 5 granite stones at Nolan's Cross were similar in shape. That was strange to the team. It was like someone had gone to extreme lengths to ensure that this symbol remained perfect to serve its purpose. But what was the purpose? Digging deeper, the team wondered whether they had found a stone that was close to what they needed and might require only minor adjustments, or if it had been deliberately moved. The stonemasons Mark and Mike observed that the stone was smoother than any natural granite they had seen, which sparked curiosity about the stone's origins and past, suggesting human involvement. This rock near the base of Nolan's Cross, located in the center of Oak Island and owned by Fred Nolan's family, might have held important clues. Its flawless surface, contrasting with the rough natural granite, hinted at deliberate shaping and placement, enhancing the site's fascination. From the masons' intel, Rick and his crew wondered whether this hidden hatch was just another dead end, or it could finally unlock the island's greatest treasure. At this point in time, Rick and his crew were desperate for answers. They had already invested time, attention, air, energy, and not to mention a lot of money in an attempt to uncover what they thought would be their golden key to early retirement, at least for some members of the crew. To Rick and his brother Marty, this expedition meant more to them than just getting retirement money. It was their greatest archaeological as well as historical quest. Whether they would get the hidden ancient gold, old or not, that did not matter to them, as the thrill of it all came from following the clues they got every step of the way. To the two brothers, the real joy was in the process of obtaining the hidden treasures, not the end result of it. While they did face challenges from clues leading to dead ends and sometimes misinterpretation of findings to delayed legal permissions to conduct their exploration, they did not give up. Their goal was not only to find the treasure as explorers before them did, but they also intended to uncover the hidden mysteries of the island, from the geographic to the mystique, and they were ready to follow any clue. Hat led them closer to their goal.